Okay, so moving on to question C. So they've kind of led us into hoops through this question. So let's look at what we did in A. So in A, we got tan x plus sine x over tan x minus sine x to be equal to, what did we get it equal to? 1 plus cos x over 1 minus sine x. So in other words, we got this tan x, that to equal that. Okay. And then what we did, so that was what we did in the first thing. And then what we did was we got cos x to equal k minus 1 over k plus 1. So that was the next bit. So we got cos x. By the way, this was last question. What we did was we divided both sides by k plus 1 to get k on its own. So we got cos x equaling that. Okay. So essentially, if k is equal to this, then we could say that k is equal to 4. Because this technically was k. And so what we can do is, well, now we know that k is 4. Does that make sense? So we have k equaling, so the first bit was k was equal to this pink thing. Then the second thing was that from A, we then figured out that this is actually equal to k. So this is k. So essentially what they're saying is k is 4. But of course, we've solved for cos x in terms of k, haven't we? So if cos x, if k is 4, we can just sub our 4 into this. So from B, we knew that we knew, so question B, right? So from B, we knew that k plus 1 over, sorry, k minus 1 over k plus 1 equals cos x. And they are telling us in this question that k is 4. So basically, if we take A and we combine it with C, we know that k is equal to 4. So let me just write that from the beginning. So in A, because we haven't got it on this piece, but if we were to scroll up to A, we would see that they are telling us that they've already told us that k equals tan x plus sine x. So this is from A. So essentially, even without understanding what's going on, so if you're a bit blurry on this, that's okay. Just know that in question A, because when you have an A, B, C, D question, it's leading you through hoops. And so the information that you've just solved is going to be used for the next question. So the fact that you know this from A means that you can write a K here. And then in B, we were told to solve cos x in terms of K. So now what we can do is we can replace K, because they've told us in C that K is 4 over here. And so we can say 4. So everywhere I see a K, I'm going to put a 4. So 4 minus 1 over 4 plus 1 equals cos x. And essentially now what I've done is I've solved solving for x, aren't I? Which is what I need to do. So I need to get x. So cos x equals 3/5. And then there's just a simple matter of putting in your calculator. So you're going to say cos to the -1 of 3/5. Now, I think because they've given it in pi, we need to do this in radians, right? So if it was from minus, this would, if we were doing it in degrees, it would be -180 to 180, right? But of course, we're not. We're doing it in radians. So your calculator needs to be in radians. So make sure your calculator is in radians. You're going to say cos to the -1 in your calculator, 3/5, and it's going to give you an answer in radians of, let's stick it in our calculator and see what we get. Okay, so you're going to get 0.295 pi or 0.2927. So they'll accept 0.927 or 0.295. But of course, they also allow you to put it on the negative. Now remember, your cos graph goes like this, doesn't it? And if you were on the negative side, it would go like this. And so essentially, we're looking at the value of around here. But if we look on the other side, it's a mirror image. And so it's also going to be negative. That's 0.295 or negative 0.295 pi. Okay. Or you could just say plus or minus 0.927. These are the same thing, right? It's just this one, I'm using pi, the actual number for pi, and then rounding. Okay, so that is question C. Let's see if there's another one. Up. Okay, so now we will go on to question 5 in the next video.